Oh,
I think we may be live.
no green dot. There we go. There's a green dot. Hello, everybody. Hello. And welcome to the Awesemo.com live before lock show, where we have been mostly off for a week. I mean, we are doing stuff in the background, but we are back live streaming for the first time in the live before lock show. Obviously, Josh and Jake were on earlier today, but we are here. We have 14 big games. Baseball is back and better than ever. Big home run derby. Lots of enthusiasm and stuff for the sport now. I'm Chris Spags, joined by my good pal, the chubster himself, Mr. Josh Engelman. How are you doing, Josh?
I'm pretty good. Put out a lot of video content today, so, I've been listening to myself talk for a while. I'm a bit sick of me. I can't imagine how sick of me you guys are. But, we're going to have to get over it because I'm not going anywhere.
That's right. There is one thing to promote right after the stream is over. We will have part 2 of the big NFL preview that I have been writing and Josh and I have been doing videos of. We're going to be breaking down the quarterbacks today. A lot of interesting stuff. The first Chick-fil-A bet we've had in a while is going to be in that video, or those videos rather, as they come out. So check that out, tonight. Don't go out on a Friday night. Just watch me and Josh talk some more. Yeah. Pleasure yourself accordingly. But really, check those out. I think they'll also be on our iTunes feed probably tomorrow at some point. But go check that out when we're done here. Hello, chat. Welcome to the stream. Thank you guys for being here. How do you want to talk about you had a little time off? Do you want to tell the people, give them a little personality-driven content before we talk about baseball?
Are we talking like what did I do for the past couple days?
What'd you do, Josh?
I had a lot of beer, as one normally does on a vacation. Had a good day of shuffleboard on like the day that it was not prime weather. I had a healthy amount of ramen on said day, which was also great. Some really good Gouda cheese fries. Mostly we're just talking food here. I had some linguine and clams. That was pretty bomb. Probably the best I've ever had. That's what happens when you get seafood in Rhode Island. But a lot of it was just being able to relax, hang out with some friends, and just like not have to think about anything for a couple days. So,
nice.
I'm trying to drink as much water as I can right now. Today hasn't been the best day for like feeling great. It's going to be a couple days before I work back all those garbage toxins that I've been putting in my body. But, what are you going to do?
Just so you guys also know, never mind, it's not relevant. I actually got distracted by Twitter because I was going to retweet this for once because I never retweet our videos, but I feel like we're back. So I was going to be like, we back. And then I realized I was on the Osmo handle and that would have been useless. Anyway, I saw my mom get remarried this weekend and I had a lovely time. I have new stepbrothers who are the same age, and it's very odd when you're an adult person whose parents got divorced in your 20s and then your mom gets remarried. But it was a lovely time. I was in New York, very humid, very gross, very much not ramen weather. So I don't know how I feel about you having ramen. This is the second time I've talked about this in the last 24 hours. I don't believe ramen's a summer food. I also find ramen to be wildly overrated.
It's not. This was very good. I did spicy miso. It was very, very good. I'm a big broth and noodle guy, so I crushed it. Merino for life. I was in Narragansett, bounced a bit around Rhode Island. But Narragansett was where I was laying my head.
Interesting. Okay. Well, Rhode Island, there we go, popping off right now. Narragansett, a lovely city named after a beer, I presume, and not the other way around. I enjoy that summer shandy from Narragansett, so great place.
Also, quick hits. Sorry, guys. No Justin Turner today. I can't help that one.
Dodgers are going to have a lot of these this year. I mean, you got to watch, or this year, the rest of the year, rather. You're going to have to watch a lot of this stuff with the Dodgers because they can really rotate in a lot of dudes who are very good. That trade. I guess you want to talk about the trade real fast? There isn't a lot of baseball trades we have had to talk about so far, but Manny Machado becoming a Dodger. Loved that guy a lot. Loved that Dodger stack a lot going up against Wade Miley. But that team is real deep and really versatile with different-handed bats.
Oh, that's the trade we're going to talk about?
What other trades are we going to talk about?
Kawhi?
Oh, well, that's what.
Who gives a shit about a baseball trade, man? It doesn't even mean anything. It changes nothing.
I think, well, it does. It makes the Dodgers a little more competitive. But no, the Kawhi trade is obviously a completely different thing, and one where I'm curious to see if he reports. I assume he has to, but He really
he
did not
will.
want to go there. He really did not.
I wouldn't.
I would. I feel like Toronto seems like a fun place. You get to be Drake's pal. That's pretty cool.
I'm sure he
But
could be
Kawhi doesn't
friends
want
with
that
Drake
thing.
if he doesn't live in Toronto. I don't think Drake only has friends that have Canadian zip codes or whatever the fuck. Whatever you crazy Canadian people have to let you know where your city is.
If you get that hookup though, that full on Drake hookup where he's taking you out to the club and he's like, "What's up? This is my boy Kawhi," and then Kawhi's like, "Hey," and then then it just all goes off from there. The vacuum of charisma that he is. I don't know. I'm curious to see how that shakes out. It does seem like he's a guy who just wants to be back in San Diego riding his shitty pickup truck or whatever.
I don't blame him.
Yeah,
I don't blame him. Yeah, I mean, like he's had no choice. The NBA, you're kind of locked down for a hot minute. So if he goes to LA, I hope he does. I hope he does exactly what he wants to do.
Jeremiah Johnson pointing out the Michael Beasley signing, which I saw today. I think it's a fantastic signing. I loved Beasley last year. That Lakers team has too many dudes who like shooting the ball and like holding onto the ball, but I like that team. I'm very into the Lakers.
Look, I mean, it's obviously a throwaway year for them, so I don't really care what they do. People are getting up in arms about it. Yeah, I would have assumed they would have done something better than that, but who gives a shit. Next year is the one that matters. If they're not going to get a second star, then as long as they're not hamstringing their cap room, I don't have a problem with what they're doing.
I mean, there's just so much scoring on that team. And Beasley, I fell in love with Beasley again. I always liked him because he has kind of a vibe, which I appreciate. Also has really cool eyes, which is not a thing I look for in a dude, but he just looks like a husky, which I'm very into. He was so good last year, and he did almost, I would say, 80% offensively what Porzingis could do. Not defensively, definitely not defensively. But as the Lakers, like they have so much instant offense across the board on that team. I'm curious to see how it shakes out. They can play at pace. They can do a lot of shit. Anyway, baseball though.
Yeah, baseball time.
Got this baseball. What are we doing? What are we doing tonight? What are we doing at pitcher? There's not a lot of top line options out there. Sort of a middle of the pack that just goes on forever. A mediocre middle grouping. What are you doing so far? Where are you landing?
I'm quite a bit under the field on Robbie Ray. I don't see 34% being anywhere that I want to be. Pretty neutral on Strasburg.
No concerns about a pitch limit on him because I don't want to get burned by that anymore. That happened a few too many times before the All-Star break.
No, I have no issues with Strasburg tonight.
Okay, interesting.
I don't have real much interest in Trevor Bauer. I don't really see the need to pay up. So I'm a little heavier on Syndergaard than the field, a little heavier than the field on Domingo Herman, Herman Marquez. So big Herman guy, if I have to keep saying it like that. I got a little bit of Gaviglio, which I'm not super stoked about, but I'm of the feeling today that I just want to have a lot of bullets of these 8,000-ish guys, just mix them up. I don't see it as a particular day where anybody stands out.
By the way, I guess we should talk about this too. Any weather games that we're avoiding? I saw that there was some red on Schmancy Schmabs.
Yeah, that Pirates-Reds game is pretty terrifying. It looks like the Red Sox game is going to be fine. So
interesting. Okay. I've been avoiding the Red Sox for most of the day just because it was red. I saw they're not as red on Moto Blinders, but they are pretty red on Fantasy Labs. I've been avoiding the Pittsburgh game though, even though I really want to go against Jameson Taillon after that last game where I feel like that was total bullshit and lucky that he had like 11 strikeouts. I didn't enjoy that. So I would like to go there, but I agree. I think that game's an avoid for today. The Pirates haven't even put their lineup in. I feel like they're just like, this isn't happening. Why?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna include it in my stuff when I do my final crunch. So only thing we're waiting on now is the Mariners lineup, I believe. And I'm pretty heavy on the Mariners tonight, so it's kind of essential. I won't do anything until that comes out.
The baseball savant, Mr. Jake Hari, is also in the chat. He is excluding all Pirates and Reds players, so there we go. I'm all right with that.
Same page.
How about a guy that we talked about before we came on the air? Nathan Eovaldi. He's a guy who our ownership projections don't love a ton. To me, he jumps out in a way that I just think people are going to chase him more than we currently have him projected for. I guess out of that group of guys, and let's say 8,800, like under Syndergaard, but to who's the best cutoff point for that? Like to like 8,000. Which of those guys would you have the most, and which guy do you feel the most confident about?
Well, I have the most of Robbie Ray. He grades out the best, and ownership backs that up. 34% expected ownership on DK. So I agree with that. I prefer Ray there the most. I'd say Rich Hill is my number 2 in that group. Quick hits, Rich Hill. I like him quite a bit here, but he's at 15%. I don't really want to go much higher than that. But I like that play. There's not really anybody in that range that I'm super over the field on. A little bit more Domingo Herman, a little bit more Eovaldi. I'm just a little, like I'm more than a little bit under on Arrieta.
Are you stacking against Arrieta at all? Because I know that's something we've talked about from a game theory perspective. He is projected to have almost 20% ownership according to our numbers for premium members of Awesemo.com. He does seem like a guy who you can go against, not getting a ton of swinging strikes. And San Diego, obviously, a very cheap stack. Any thoughts on going against him, or are you mostly just like iffy on him in general?
I have 2 lines there, but I don't really think that the Padres grade out all that well that I want to force much more than that. So I'll have shots just in case it goes crazy, but I don't see any sort of volume. Like, I don't have much Rangers right now. But they grade out really well for me. So they would be the type of team where I would try to get a little bit more of a boost. Whereas the Padres are just kind of in this group of crap teams at the bottom. I don't really see anything that makes me want to differentiate.
I do like Bauer a little more than I think you do. I mean, I don't know if it's a price thing for you or what, but like he has been pretty good his last couple outings, even though he did have a tough time versus the Yankees. Like he's played a couple of tough teams. Cincinnati too, also not bad. He had a great day versus Cincinnati. I think, the Rangers strike out a lot. I know it's a game in Texas, so there is a batter's park thing as well. But I don't mind Bauer. I could see what you're saying with the Rangers stack, but they strike out a lot. They do strike out a lot, and Bauer is, I would say, the lone elite pitcher who can really rack up Ks on the slate. Or maybe Ray, but
I just don't see the need to spend an extra 3,300 with any sort of volume. Like we're projecting 7% ownership. That's where I expect it to be, and I'm cool with that. I don't think that Trevor Bauer is going to single-handedly win you anything tonight. So I'll have what I have, but that's not the spot I'm worried about. If you're using Bauer, I almost like the idea of using another expensive pitcher and going to 2 like low-ish owned cheap teams to go with it, because it'll be pretty unique. You're already going to be pretty unique with Bauer, but that'll at least open up some guys that maybe aren't going to be owned, but should. I don't know who that would be. Like the Nats would go really well in that, just because we're not projecting a ton of ownership there. Giants, I guess. I just don't have a ton of interest in Bauer because he just doesn't fit the slate enough. It says nothing about his, like, he grades out as one of the best pitchers. He's got great upside, but you're just kind of like spending 3,300 to spend it. If Strasburg was like 45% owned or something, I'd see the pivot a little bit more, but it's not as if like Strasburg's even breaking loose from the field.
Okay. You mentioned San Francisco really fast. I actually prefer the Athletics in that matchup. I think they're an interesting stack who comes across to me. They have 2 of the better home run hitters, I think, on the slate going versus a righty. They have Olsen and Chris Davis, who I think are an interesting little pairing. And then Derek Rodriguez just not missing bats, giving up a lot of hard contact, especially to lefties. Matt Olson actually in the mix to be my home run pick today, a thing which I'm not looking forward to getting back to now.
Weird, I am. It's odd, Sometimes when you're just really good at things, you want to do them over and over again. I guess that's how Alex feels when he plays DFS.
I also didn't prepare in advance. We didn't have enough time between all the stuff we've been doing and writing and whatever. I didn't prepare in advance for my home run pick. This sucks. I don't want to fall even further behind you.
Well, I hope you do. I hope I get 4. I wish I had Matt Carpenter from this morning.
We didn't talk about stacks yet. Somebody's asking about Cleveland's stack. A stack that I like a lot. Both you want to go on the down end of that. You have the cheaper side with Diaz and Geyer and some other guys. Whoever that is. You have like some of the righty bats there are a little cheaper. People ask a lot about Geyer. I think he's interesting. How do you feel about Cleveland going down to Texas and hitting in that hot weather, going against who I would think is the worst pitcher on the slate, than Martin Perez?
They're one of my top stacks. They're first on FanDuel, second on DK right now. I have a ton of them. They're the chalk stack on FanDuel, second chalkiest stack on DK. I'm right there with the field. I like them. Can't really avoid them tonight.
Okay, there we go. It's a can't avoid. So that answers that guy's question. Any thoughts on why the Yankees run total went from 4.6 to 5.2? Is that on our site or on? I feel like it's been 5.2 all day.
Yeah, that line's been 9 pretty much the whole time.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Mambo, where you saw that. But.
Hold on. So Yankees money line has gone up quite a bit. It was like 150 this morning at wake up, minus 175 now. So that'll move towards the Yankees by 1/10 of a run or so. I don't know, because it did. Look, like if I thought that I could figure out why the lines were moving in like sports betting, then I would sports bet. I just take what it gives me.
Sports betting very in vogue right now. Very popular. Second base sort of tough tonight. The Solarte garner any interest? I guess like what stacks do you feel like before we even get into these granular questions? Sorry guys, save your either or type stuff tonight for a little later. What stacks are you going to the most besides Cleveland?
I've got a ton of Red Sox. They're my other top stack. They're first on DK, second on FanDuel. I'm way above the field on FanDuel, double actually, and then a little bit above the field on DK. The Nats, I'm very heavy on the Nats on FanDuel and DK, doubled up on the field. Similar for the Giants. So those are the spots that I'm like most heavy on.
Okay, Giants. I feel you mentioned the Giants a couple of times. I'm intrigued by your Giants love.
Yeah, they're popping up really well for me. We talked a little bit about it this morning, but I'll go into it here. Edwin Jackson's terrible. He shouldn't even be in baseball. He's just old and not good. So I will happily take some of these Giants guys. Brandon Belt's on like the paternity list or something, which sucks. I thought he looked really good as an option today, but I like Brandon Crawford. Posey grades out as one of the best catching options of the day for me. I'll take Alan Hansen as a lefty versus righty second base outfield option. It's really easy to get to. They're not that hard to pay up for, and it's just a play against Edwin Jackson because Edwin Jackson's terrible.
Okay, I mean Edwin Jackson is terrible. He's been a little less terrible since he's been back. I mean, especially in terms of not getting hit terribly hard. Let me just pull that up to confirm that. I feel like he hasn't given up many home runs since getting back. Yeah, you know what? His overall numbers aren't that good. Never mind. I think his first couple starts were looking a little better. He's regressed a little back to vintage Edwin Jackson, it seems.
Yeah, 461 xFIP. He's got a 211 BABIP, so that's like 70 points lower than what it should be. He's Edwin Jackson. He's been in the league for fucking ever, and he's not good. So I'm going to stack against him. Go Giants.
Do you have any White Sox love tonight?
I do have White Sox love tonight. So I'm just a skosh higher on DK than I am the field on FanDuel. And on FanDuel, I'm a little under. But I like that idea of having some White Sox stacks to go against the expected ownership. 15% right now in that game for Wade LeBlanc. So I like having a little bit of the opposite side of that.
Okay. I don't mind LeBlanc's splits versus righties, and that is a sort of righty-heavy lineup, at least the good hitters, but I can see it. The lefties, too. I mean, Delmonico's back in the lineup. That's probably a net positive. Yeah, I can see it. Let's see. Anything else? Wish since he was going. I love that stack, but it's a moot point. Jerome. Not a mute point, a moot point.
That is not the first time that's happened today.
I do not like mute point. That is one of my pet peeves.
Yeah,
terms of
I said something about it in the morning one too.
We do not support mute points here. We are very anti-mute point on this site. Oh no, I hate when the DraftKings app closes as I have like a lineup I've been just laboring over, and then it just crashes all of a sudden. Fucking dog
Thank you,
shit
DraftKings. Appreciate it.
Thanks, you cocks. Should I be nervous about stacking versus James Shields? I haven't seen him get blown up once this year. He has been blown up once.
Julian, have you managed to look in the game logs at all to where he's given up 7 runs multiple times? If we're only going by what you've like physically seen, I'd recommend reading game logs. But I'm stacking heavily against James Shields because James Shields sucks. He's gotten blown up quite a bit this year. Very, very lucky guy. One of the worst pitchers in baseball. Yeah, I would have no problem stacking up against James Shields.
Yeah, I don't have any issue with him either. I think in general he has been a little better, and people were targeting perhaps a bit too much early on.
James Shields, 4th worst xFIP among qualified starters this year.
James Shields is not much better than he was, but he is still a play who I think earlier in the year was getting a little too much hate for what he did. But yeah, I agree. He's not a good pitcher, and not anybody you should worry about stacking against.
Look, it's baseball. He could certainly have a good game today, but he probably shouldn't.
Jeremy trying to claim that mute point was a autocorrect. I think it's very debatable, Jeremy. I think that's a very
don't buy it.
Let's see. Who is the best FanDuel GPP pitcher?
Syndergaard probably. For me.
I like Syndergaard on both sites, but yeah, I don't know enough about FanDuel slate, but I agree. I think he's got a lot of upside. The Yankees do strike out a lot. And
if we're trying to be unique, I like Robbie Ray quite a bit, but 25% probably a little higher than I would like. So I like Syndergaard at what amounts to no ownership.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati delayed, according to the baseball savant himself, Mr. Jake Hari. So that's trouble. As we've said, probably a stay away game. Pretty much across the board. We are not finding that to be a game worth hitting. Let's see. Do you want to do home run picks? Do you want to just fucking continue cementing your lead while I cry?
Yeah, let's do some home run picks.
Josh has been, I don't even know what your tear is. I haven't checked the sheet. I didn't update. I also didn't see Friday what you guys did, if you were right then either. I think you were, right?
I don't remember.
I feel like you were. I feel like I remember getting a Slack while I was like already either flying.
I don't think I got it right.
I hope not.
Let me check our Slack history. Chat would know. What was July 12th?
13th.
Is that Thursday?
Yeah, so the 12th is Thursday.
Okay, so yeah, I didn't get one Friday then.
Okay, good. Thank God. Thank the Lord. Who is the pick going to be today? You asshole.
I'm not leading off with this nonsense. I'm going to pick somebody from whatever team you take.
No, that's not fair. You should have to lead off because you often do that little trick. Either because Jake drops somebody in the chat, you should have to go first.
Why should I have to go first? I'm in the lead. I come out last. This is like being the champion.
When you play 1-on-1, you get the ball when you hit a shot.
Yeah, the champion comes out last.
That's not how that goes. That's not how we played that either.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly how we did. You know what? I don't even need it. I don't need it at all. I'm just going to pick the guy that's going to go yard today. And that guy is Steve Pearce.
Steve Pearce. All right. It sucks too when it's a guy who I'm not even like on the radar with. Like I'm not crazy about it at all. And then you come out with that. That's upsetting. Oof. Oh, do you know what? Derek Rodriguez doesn't give up home runs. That worries me. This sucks. Now I'm totally on the spot. I'm going to go. I'm gonna go with Edwin Encarnacion.
I don't hate
I
it.
don't like.
Not the best homer matchup, but he ranks 12th for me. That is ahead of Steve Pearce.
Okay. I was going to go Ramirez, but I felt like that's a little high. And they're also pretty close in terms of home run rate. Probably should have gone Lindor. Sorry, adjustment, because this is a guy who I have the most of tonight. Sorry, and he's a worse player, so I think he'll be okay with it. Roberto Perez.
Who are you going with?
Roberto Perez on the Indians, on the Indians.
Oh, boy. Yeah, go ahead. You can have that one, man.
Okay.
Roberto Perez coming out of crisp 172nd.
Really?
Good switch off of Encarnacion. Great pivot.
Okay, well, Roberto
Jake,
Perez...
you just need to pick somebody that shows up tonight.
Roberto Perez hits a home run versus lefties 4.95% of the time. That is higher than Edwin Encarnacion and Jose Ramirez and Francisco Lindor. And I need to pick guys who I have the most of. I always fall into this issue where I pick guys because I see them on my Excel spreadsheet and I'm like, yeah, that guy. But it's not always a guy who I have a lot of. Today I have a lot of Roberto Perez. I'm going with Roberto. You won't shake me. Perez on Perez violence tonight in Texas.
Jake goes with Jose Ramirez, an actually reasonable pick.
Ugh, what a cock. Oh yeah, take the best player on the team that I just identified the weakness of, Jake. Some baseball savant. More like the baseball idiot savant, am I right?
Oh man, it's easier to find Roberto Perez if I start from the bottom of the list.
When Roberto Perez goes off tonight, when he has 30 points because he just was hitting home runs, two right on, piling them on one after the other, we'll remember this.
I'll tell you what, if he goes yard, congrats, man. I'll buy you Chick-fil-A if he goes yard, just because.
Okay, I'll accept it. I will gladly accept it. Roberto Perez, guys, the one to watch.
Fades bags tonight, people.
I gotta go Brave. I have to go Brave. Let's see. What plays do we feel like are underrepresented in the field tonight? It's a big slate, lots of games. What plays at pitcher or stacks do you feel like the world is not quite on enough?
Nats.
Nats.
Red Sox on FanDuel, but Nats just in general. I have double the field on both sites. I don't understand why people aren't on the Nats more. Especially on a day where like you can get to those bigger bats. Bryce is cheap. All these Nats guys are cheap. I don't entirely understand why they're not more owned. I couldn't be happier with where I'm at right now. All right, I guess I'm gonna crunch and just fix Mariners lineups as they come in.
Yeah, you crunch it.
Oh, I'll crunch it, all right.
We're already delirious, guys. We've talked for so many hours today, Josh, even more than I have. We're falling apart at the seams.
Yeah, I generally don't have that much interesting shit to say ever, but after a morning show, quick hits, an hour and 45 minutes of NFL talk, and now this, man, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I mean, I'm not going so. Ooh, there's the Seattle lineup. I don't even have to do this. I'm not going so crazy that I'm taking Roberto Perez as a catcher pick for my home runs or anything, but you know, some of us handle being overworked better than others.
When he hits a home run tonight, it's going to be the best feeling I've ever had besides anything sex related or anything else I enjoy.
I might give you the rest of the month. Not just today.
For him to hit a
I'll
home
count
run.
it if he does it before July ends.
It's fucking bullshit. I will laugh. Dave Clark asking when was the NFL talk. It's coming out literally the second we finish this video. I just have to tweak the headlines and also publish my article. So Dave Clark, it will be on the YouTube channel, both a part 1 and a part 2, a little shorter than the first one we did. They will be up shortly.
We don't get out of the gates very quickly. And then all of a sudden, we're through 4 teams and it's 40 minutes in. It's just like, whoops.
It's tough to time those out correctly, but we put a lot of thought into it. Perhaps spent a little too much time on the top few teams, and then realized, oh shit, this video is going too long, and then I had to learn to go fast. And we'll get better as these go every week. I think by the time we do tight ends, it's gonna be breezing through. Chris Johnson asking, Josh, how high are you, ... on Eaton? He didn't ... I ...
I have no idea. Find out. I am not that high on Adam Eaton. A little bit higher on FanDuel. Don't really have him on DK.
Okay. Also, if you're a premium member, our ownership projections did just update because I got a Slack notification. So go check them out. Go be premium and learn. If you're not premium, I'm disappointed in you, and everyone else in your life is as well. And I am sorry you had to find out like this. How about the Blue Jays? How do we feel about them?
Great question. One that I will answer right now. I like them. They are my 7th ranked team overall. I have slightly more than the field on both sites. I'm just cool with it. Like, they're just sort of there.
Okay. I like the lefties a little more versus Bundy. Bundy's has given up a fair amount more walks and hits per innings pitched to the lefties. A little more hard contact, but I do think the Jays are going a little underrepresented as a stack, especially given the fact that they are, I would feel, pretty often a under-owned, pretty good stack. And I don't mind them tonight. And I think Bundy has shown that he can get absolutely shelled from time to time. Are we sleeping on the Rays tonight? From Julian McQueen. Are we? I actually prefer Straley more than the Rays. I don't mind.
I'm not sleeping on them at all. I'm just ignoring them completely.
Ooh, you are sleeping with the enemy, the Marlins.
Eric Bieniemy?
No, the enemy, not the enemy.
Sorry,
not Bieniemy.
Sorry, I was channeling my inner boomer. Anytime you would score, Eric sleeping with Bieniemy. Kids probably don't know that.
I don't remember all of his names, and that is not a player who would have come to mind first with the Chris Berman nicknames.
Oh yeah, Eric sleeping with Bieniemy. That's like a top 10 one.
Jake, thoughts on your Minnesota Jake's bats? Is Eddie okay versus lefty? Let's talk about the Twins real fast because people have mentioned it a few times. Do you?
Love them. I'm more than double the field.
I don't love the Twins that much. I do like the righties on that side versus Duffy, but Duffy's been lights out versus lefties. And he did just run through the same Twins lineup not that long ago. I think Duffy's turned a bit of a corner, and I think he's going to abuse the non-right-handed hitters and the non-switch hitters on that side. So I don't mind a mini stack if you want to go against Duffy, but I think I have more Duffy than I have Twins tonight.
Yeah, I'm all over the Twins. Only 3% aggregate ownership on DK. I've got 7.
All right.
I'm a fan, man.
People are asking a lot about the Dodgers now. People are asking about Kike Hernandez and some other Dodger just went by, or Kemp. How do you feel about the Dodgers tonight going against Wade Miley, a guy we've talked a fair amount of shit about overall? Do you have any Dodgers? Or are you buying into the Machado? I don't know, just the Machado.
I have a decent amount of Dodgers. They're 6th overall for me across both sites. I'm a little under the field on DK. I'm a little over the field on FanDuel. So I guess relatively neutral.
Okay. I do like the Dodgers a fair amount tonight. And again, I always like the Dodgers. The one that I don't like on the Dodgers is Max Muncy. I don't. So here's the thing.
There we go. Finally coming around.
No.
I like it.
It's a matchup because of the lefty thing. I think the righties are in a much better spot versus Miley. In a more noticeable way. Muncy's numbers still grade out pretty well. He still has a ton of power. Still hits a home run 9% of the time versus lefties. I do remember hearing many times over the years, try to avoid guys coming off the home run derby because the swing gets fucked up a little bit. And that was actually why they blamed Aaron Judge's second half of his year last year on him downsliding a little bit because he didn't recover until like September from the home run derby. I'm avoiding home run derby guys tonight.
I would put 100% Bryce Harper in my lineup tonight. I don't give a fuck about that bullshit. What a garbage narrative. As if one day some guy took a bunch of extra cuts at home runs. Like, that isn't batting practice every single day. Give me a break. People are dumb.
But it's so prolonged. It's so prolonged that
It's not.
you're hitting, what's taking how many cuts over the course of that game? A lot of pressure. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing out a narrative point. So, don't kill me.
No, join the hatred to Max Muncy team for like natural reasons. It feels better over here. They hate us because they ain't us.
God damn it. I like Max Muncy still in general, but he is not part of my lineups tonight. Of course, watch him just go nuts. But I don't know. I'm trying it out. Just doing this, whatever this means. Best second baseman under 4,100 on DK. Also capitalized in a way that makes it sound like we're giving away an Academy Award by Manuel Franco.
And the winner is.
Which second baseman would you go with under 4,100?
Let's find out. So highest projection for me is Alan Hansen. So I would say that Alan Hansen is the best option there. You could also put him in at outfielder if you need to. D. Gordon really close in projection. Lots of guys comparable depending on where you want to be in the salary structure. So you could drop down as far as Willie Calhoun if you want. And then take that extra $700 off of Hansen and apply it somewhere else.
Okay. Also, one other thing that we talked about before we started the stream, which I just want to bring up again, I fucking hate how you can't have guys like who are on the field at the same time because DraftKings doesn't update their position. It's happening right now. I'm trying to make a Toronto stack, and it's like, all right, I know they're both technically first basemen, but why can't I ever play Justin Smoke and Morales? Especially because you always pick Morales to hit home runs, and I feel like you're always right on him. I don't know if that's true or not, but
probably I'm right about a lot of stuff a lot of the time.
You're a real jerk.
Sometimes I just really enjoy my life.
Not
often, but it's sometimes.
Good. As long as it's only sometimes, all I care about. I'm gonna put Roberto Perez in another lineup.
Oh, don't double down on your mistakes.
I legit have I did 20 lineups in the $5 today. I think I have Roberto Perez in half.
Do I have a lot of Roberto Perez before I start talking shit?
I hope you do.
I have 7%, which is essentially equal to the field.
Okay. That's good. You just got a little taste of him. Just get hooked on Perez.
Apparently you've done like a lot of Perez over the past couple days and can't beat the habit.
I do have a couple double Perez lineups. I do have some.
I think somebody needs to go to Peru and do some ayahuasca and get over this Roberto Perez nonsense.
Who is the top outfielder 4,700? That's so many outfielders, Kevin. But who is the top outfielder 4,700 or under on DK for a GPP?
Barely need to give me that salary range.
People are very specific. You like specificity. I feel like they recognize that.
Look, I appreciate the question being asked correctly. I'm a fan there. But top would be Bryce Harper. And it's not close for me. And I have a ton of him. You could also go to someone like Nelson Cruz or expected home run hitter Steve Pearce.
Is he the expected home run hitter now?
Is he not?
I wouldn't call him the expected one. I feel like that's a whole different ballgame.
Well, you wouldn't be calling much of anything in this contest lately either, though. So, ooh, I'm loving it. I'm loving my spot. I'm loving being in the throne.
It's enjoy it while it lasts, even though it's now the lead's getting a little untenable, but it'll happen. It all swings. It all swings back the other way. Matthew Prodwell has all three Jose's on his line. That's great. Jose, a very uncommon nickname in a Latino sport like baseball. So good for you, Matthew Prodwell. Should I fade Red Sox for weather? I guess let's talk about that because you are not doing that, Josh.
No, I'm not.
Okay. It's fair. Anyone on Texas, you all like Cleveland so much, idiots. Hey, Eric Johnson, go fuck yourself. Why are you calling people idiots?
There's no need to be like that.
Like, why would you do that?
I don't have much Indians, or I don't have much Rangers. They grade out really well for me on FanDuel. I could see them being a play that people push for there. The problem is the Bauer's not going to be owned enough for it to matter.
Yeah, I agree. Bowers, we do have our projected lower ownership. A lot of people will be expected to take Josh's approach of just paying down a little more and finding a guy with similar upside in the Robbie Ray or Syndergaard territory. So no reason to leverage play that necessarily. Which position would you normally use for utility on FanDuel? / is there one, Josh?
There isn't one. It's probably first base or outfielder because they're naturally going to be the better hitters. But you should never care about position.
Mm-hmm. He's going to be like 20% owned. Eric Johnson, we don't have him project to be 20% owned. You don't know better, so go away. I'm like you.
Yeah. We don't have his ownership at 20% if I add up both sites.
It's the arrogance to come in and give people, call people names and be wrong is too much. Eric Johnson, go away. 4,500 on DK for a first baseman. Who would you go with?
First baseman, you said?
Mm-hmm.
I'm Steve Pearce. Did you set me up for that one, Daniel? Because I appreciate it. It's Steve Pearce, and there aren't any other first basemen as far as I'm concerned tonight.
I just avoided that Boston game all day because of the weather, so that's where I'm locked in. I don't even know the Steve Pearce guy exists, right? For tonight only. I may rue that. Just like you'll rue.
What's this question? $3,000 catcher on DraftKings that isn't going to hit a home run. That's probably Roberto Perez. That's who I would go with, at least.
I don't even have anything. I've said so many words today. I don't even have anything else left to give. How bad is Gaviglio, and why can't he score 20 DK points versus shitty Orioles? He's not. I don't think he's that bad. He works for me from a price standpoint. I haven't liked him before, even when our boss Alex Osimo has said that he liked Gaviglio. He never grades out that well for me. He doesn't miss bats that well. The one thing he does is limit hard contact to a fair extent, so that's okay. But I'm not crazy about him. If you're playing him, you're playing the Orioles striking out a lot. So I think that would be the reason why. What do you feel about Gaviglio, Josh?
I have him more than the field, actually. I don't have any wisdom for that, unfortunately. I just think he's a decent play at that price point.
Okay. Dave Clark entering a lineup with all three of the home run picks. That works out well because you can stack both Jose Ramirez and Roberto Perez in the same lineup. Double the opportunity. Who do we like for a low-owned stack? Because White Nose likes the Mets today. I like where you're going with that White Nose because German does give up quite a bit of home runs. What do you feel about the Mets? I guess any sort of low-owned stack in general. What one's popping off to you?
The Mets wouldn't be one for me, but if we're talking low-owned stacks, the Twins, in my opinion, are too low-owned. The Giants are too low-owned. Astros, but there's three.
The Astros are owned by the Jetsons. That's what you get. You get shitty wordplay for being a jerk. Do you guys ever look at the projections from DK and see how close Osmos are to? Oh boy, there's a lot of type to theirs. Just curious. I'm sure you do. So just guessing. It's a dumb question. I don't think we compare them. No. I would say for the most part, everyone's projections are going to be in a sort of line. The reason Alex's projections, Osmo's projections are the best is because he wins the most money doing it, and he hasn't had to adapt his algorithms and his formulas too much. So there isn't really a reason to double down. But if Alex were failing, then he would probably look at other projections and see where his are wrong relative to theirs. But
I don't ever look at anything other than my own stuff. So
wait,
I evaluate it, but I don't use it.
Hold on, he's asking about the ownership. DK doesn't have ownership projections. What are you talking about?
They have the answers. They have the answer key. when it's over.
Oh, you're saying like after the slates are out. I mean, I don't actually know what we do with that.
Yes,
There's always
they're
some course
100%. They're 100% a part of future data.
Yeah. Okay, so we're in three entirely different questions that crystallize in different ways. So there you go, Marina for life. Yeah, we do look at that.
Yeah.
Girl, this is boring. Too many numbers. Get upfront details and information in just 25 minutes of my shows. Hey, FD Guru, go fuck yourself. How about that? Your channel probably sucks, and that's why no one's watching it. So go away. You are getting bounced permanently. We don't do this spam shit. Don't come in here with your weak fucking nonsense ideas are in this channel. Boom. Peace out, buddy. Yeah, FD Guru also, I'm sure, gives terrible tips. Just FYI.
I'm not trying to be inefficient. It's supposed to be an hour-long show. That's the entire intention of this.
It's also like too much data. Is that actually what you just said? Like, you're too much information for me to unpack. Go to my stream and just take picks. People who just give picks are fucking idiots. Sorry, I'm going to say it. Any tout site, you're just fucking idiots. Like, the whole point of this is about you have to learn how to think about things. You reference data points. You reference ownership. You reference these things. That's why Osmo's successful. That's why the site was created, was because data-driven DFS builds results, and that's why we have staffers, and senior management who have won millions to hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, and that's not me touting for anybody. That's you being an idiot.
Yeah, if you want this to be quick, start yourself a Snapchat DFS channel. Give everybody everything in 10-second increments.
Yeah, and also, like, your picks are going to suck a lot of the time because picks are picks. Like, that's not the thing. You're never. You are no guru, sir. You are no guru. Yeah. Let's see. Isn't baseball just numbers? Yes, Shark. Baseball is, in fact, the most predictable sport in Las Vegas because it's so heavily based on numbers and everything happens the same way over and over again. So, yes, numbers are good in baseball. Chicago Sox. Jeremy just saying Chicago. Good for you. Tom, Roberto Perez for a home run for sure. I agree, Tom. My picks are great.
Did you just make like a fake account? Is Tom your burner account?
Tom's not my burner account.
Oh god, next Garmin's gonna come in and be like, yeah, Roberto Perez is the best.
All my GPS named.
Yeah.
OnStar has some great opinions at DFS. No, that's not me. That's just a guy who knows sports, knows data.
Oh, well, it's definitely not you.
Here.
I'm shooting bullets today, baby. I'm jazzed up. I'm going crazy. I've been doing this too long today. I'm losing my mind.
Any Machado love? Yes, in fact, Tickly Fingers, quite a bit of Machado love tonight. I think he's in a great spot. I like the narrative. He's in a new team, new start, new lease on life versus a pitcher who also gets rocked versus righties. Machado, a very powerful righty. Yup. I love Machado. Does GTO? I don't even know what GTO. Jeremy asking a lot of questions tonight. Do you ever post follow-up MLB Excel content on your old site after the one about the platoon calculator?
Oh, no. No, I don't. But if you ever have any questions, happy to answer them.
Who are you taking on the esports section of DraftKings tonight? What esports are playing tonight? I don't even know.
I'll take myself in FIFA in about 10 minutes. Other than that.
Watch Reese break the slate. Reese Hoskins. People have mentioned Reese Hoskins a couple times tonight. Clayton Richard doesn't really get bombed that much. He's a ground ball pitcher. So like I would love to talk myself into the Phillies, but Richard just doesn't get hit like that. So I think for me it's not a spot I'm crazy about. I also think Hoskins is a slate breaker in any way.
He could break the slate for sure, but I don't think today's the day that it happens.
Yes, I mean for today, obviously. But yeah, I agree. He does have a lot of power, but I just don't see it versus Richard. GTL, I agree, Jeremiah Johnson. Gym, tan, laundry, most important.
I don't go to the gym, I don't tan, and I'm incredibly bad at doing laundry.
Arrieta or Gibson for a DK single entry?
Gotta be Gibson, right?
I mean, yeah, Arrieta's ownership is going to be so high where it would probably be Gibson, but I do think Arrieta is a better play than Gibson.
That I agree with. Shit. Wrong site.
Let's get back to the map. I just so you guys know, you might have picked up on this. I don't appreciate like chat production. Like we have producers. Me and Josh, we're the producers of the show. We'll spend as much time and as little time as we want to on things. So thank you for your concern, Jeremy.
Yeah.
League of Legends is the only esport on DraftKings, sadly. Actually, I did play League of Legends, the League of Legends esports when it first came out. Didn't catch me in a way, and unfortunately, I don't think we have great esports projections currently. Maybe someday.
I don't know anything about esports. I've never seen League of Legends once in my life, so I'm not going to be a ton of help there.
Yeah, I don't know how it's played, but I have watched it before. They do a good job presenting it. It's not a game that I need to have in my life though that much. Give me some Fortnite. Give me some Fortnite or some Overwatch, DFS. Maybe we'll talk, but still probably not.
So I guess I should probably start playing Fortnite. Is that what everybody's telling me?
You're a little late for it. I was actually thinking about starting to Twitch stream it some more, just because I was talking to family members who are building little Twitch followings, and obviously, we have a little bit of a head start on that by having people who watch us every day. And Fortnite, the people do love watching Fortnite.
Maybe I'll play a little Fortnite, live stream that tomorrow. We'll see where that goes. I'll just get my ass handed to me.
So you've never played it before?
Never, not once. I did download it. It's installed. I haven't done anything yet.
Game Theory GTO. You could just say Game Theory. Nope. I've never heard anybody call Game Theory GTO once in my life. It's a Pontiac. That is not an abbreviation that you need to use. Overwatch Finals is being played on ESPN. If they come out with fantasy, it's going to be available. Overwatch is the most lucrative, I think, esport right now, according to most things. They have better TV deals. So it's interesting, but I honestly don't even know. I've played a lot of Overwatch. I don't even know where you begin for stat tracking. I guess kills and assists? I don't know.
You're asking the wrong guy. Esports not really my foray. I just want to play FIFA against people and tell them that they suck.
GTO is used constantly. Where are these people? Have you heard the phrase GTO? I've never once seen anybody say that. I've been playing DFS for like 4 years.
I have. Game Theory Optimal. It shouldn't be said like it is.
No, I don't think it's used constantly. Whatever. But yeah, whatever. I'll allow this one, but I'm not. I don't think you guys should be saying that one like that's like whoa. I've been doing this live stream every day for what 5 months now. Nobody's ever once dropped the word GTO in a live stream you've done.
No. It's more of a poker term, if I remember correctly. Oh, there it is. Kurt Dye, poker term.
Thank you, Kurt Dye.
I didn't see that. I swear to God.
Kurt Dye, great minds think alike. You're the winner in chat today. A lot of people who won it. I want to give wedgies to.
Well, it's more cut and dry in poker, where like the data is the data, generally speaking. So if you're making a play that's game theory optimal, it comes off better. In DFS, there's way too much variability to be like, this is optimal.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense then. And that would explain why I haven't heard of it. So now we're all happy and we can move forward. And I don't want to murder you all, but maybe slightly. Watching 2 streams and both are talking about stream Fortnite, DFS, and rapper stream. Well, great minds again. Think alike. A1 Dan CD. Also, how are you watching 2 streams at once? Good for you. Good for you being able to have the brain power to do that. Picked up some Spotted Cow and Moon Man. Anyone else drink New Glarus here?
Dude, that's not a real sentence. That's the way that sentences show up in like No Man's Sky for me right now, where I'm on a different planet. I got Spotted Cow and Moon Man. You drink New Glarus? What? Those are not even words. Those are made up words. Also, no, I have never had any of that stuff. I assume we're talking about beer?
That's what I thought too. I just thought they were brewers that I just didn't know.
Yeah, which are basically 99% of them at this rate.
True. There are far too many. Sure, man. Jake is much nicer to the viewer. Jake is allowed to be nicer because that's his shtick. I'm a professional. I don't have time for your shit. I do have time for Spotted Cow though, if it's a good beer.
Yeah.
Can you touch on any games that should be avoided because of weather? I think right now we're just on Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Josh is playing the Boston game, so he's okay with it. I'm not playing the Boston game.
Yeah, full fade to Pittsburgh and Cincinnati for me. I am playing Boston.
I love FIFA. Xbox? Question mark. What do you play on, Josh? You're a PS4 or an Xbox guy? I don't know.
I have a PS4, but in like a month and a half when FIFA 18 comes out, or 19, whatever year it is, it'll be on PC.
Okay. If you have either ors, drop them in the chat now. We will try to hit those before lock. Strasburg, Erman, or Syndergaard and Robbie Ray?
Strasburg, Erman, Syndergaard, Robbie Ray. Probably Syndergaard, Ray. But I like both combinations. I have both guys quite a bit, so I don't have any problem going with either of them. If I given the choice, I'd go Syndergaard and Ray.
I would also go Syndergaard and Ray. Again, I'm avoiding Strasburg tonight. I don't even know what his rehab start was, but I'm done with guys coming off an injury. It's bit me in the ass really hard twice within that last week before the All-Star break. So no Syndergaard no Strasburg for me tonight. The $2 on DraftKings is massive overlay if you want to get some lineups in fast, according to our guy Rojman. So there you go.
I've already maxed it, so
there you go.
I would have liked to. That's a symptom of the $5, I guess.
Would you pivot Ramirez to Bregman? I would not.
Ramirez to Bregman. Is hiding
up your butt.
I mean, I like Bregman. I don't know why I typed in third base. That's probably the problem. I like Bregman, so yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Who is a cheap first baseman for Mega John? A little overbroad question there, Mega John, but who's a cheap one that you might play?
I don't know which site, so I can't answer that. And that's actually a time where it matters.
True. I'd probably go Olsen, I guess. Matt Olsen is a guy he's not cheap. I don't think there's a cheap first baseman who's actually good tonight, but he's probably the closest for me. Ugh, I hate this. I just had to put that one in. Whatever. All right. Any last either ors? Get them in. We got like 1 minute, probably much less till lock. So get your stuff in. Paul Blackburn of the night. Dan Straley for me, I think.
So that's a bad guy that does well, right?
Yes. The Paul Blackburn is a bad guy who has a good shot to do well and possibly be in the winning lineup.
I'm just being Wade Miley.
Okay. All right with that. I'm actually not all right with that. I don't like Wade Miley at all. And in fact, I stacked against him quite a bit. So never mind. I'm not okay with that pick. Dodgers do or die. Ride or die.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Yeah, we're locked. Some annoying people in the chat today, but we persevere because most of you aren't annoying and we love you. So thank you for being fun. I guess we'll give it a couple more minutes. Maybe you want to check ownership. I don't know. Something like that.
I don't think there's anything to really check. No, there's 3 705 starts. Nothing that's really going to be interesting for ownership, though.
Oh, is today Strasburg's birthday? Never. Still coming off an injury list. I don't want him.
I'm going to go get a ice cream cake when he does well and I win a tournament.
Good way to treat your customers. It's good DFS channel, though, even with attitude. Jeremy, we know people who are here every day. We see them. We appreciate them. We appreciate the vast majority of people. But I have a very thin tolerance for people who are being trolls and being shitty and annoying anyway. So that will always be the case here. No premium article for Alex today. I no, I don't think so, but I presume it'll be coming back next week.
I think he gets back from travel today.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was, but I didn't want to misquote. So
I'm like 99% sure today was his travel day.
Any updates on the social media job for Osmo? No, Alfredo. We're going to promote it some more next week. To be honest, there were a couple applications we got in which looked okay. nothing that particularly fit all the criteria, and it's sort of important for us to get a good smattering of applications in, and I keep forgetting to promote it during the stream. So we'll do it again next week and probably move forward to the next step shortly after that. Also, I'm taking an extra weekend. If anybody deserves an extra weekend, it is the guy who makes way too much money and pays us playing this sport. So,
yeah, for real.
FanDuel, Strasburg's 5%, Ariada's 10%, Syndergaard's 2.5%, according to Team McBee.
I don't know what tournament that's in, but I've got way less Strasburg, or way more Strasburg than that. I've got less Arrieta and more Syndergaard.
More importantly, what's the Roberto Perez ownership?
That's not out yet.
It's the question everybody's dying to know.
I don't know, how many lines did you put him in? That divided by entries will get you that number.
I feel like you've liked Roberto Perez before on the stream. I feel like somebody actually has picked him for a home run before.
Yeah, there's no way. Unless it was you, and you just don't you don't remember it. I'm not taking a lot of 8-hole catchers for my home run pick, you know?
You know, it's called being contrarian. It's a little bit of GTO, Josh. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah.
It's all the buzz in the streets.
Gym tanning orgasms. You ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, Orioles sub 3%, Yankees 3 to 5%, sure. All right, thanks, Team McBee. That's enough for this week. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're not subscribed to the channel, do so now. Please watch all the videos. Literally, I think the second we get off here, we will have 2 new videos breaking down quarterback play in the NFL, every single quarterback in every team, along with their Vegas odds, key statistical things, all the stuff you need to know. So go check that out. I think it'll also be on our iTunes feed tomorrow if you want to search that out and subscribe. But yeah, keep an eye out. Also an article going up on the website. Definitely before 5, but probably in the next 20 minutes or so. So keep an eye. I'm going to say keep an eye out 10 more times. Josh, any parting words for the fine folks on this one-day week?
I don't really have anything. I'm back, but it doesn't matter because now it's the weekend again, which, you know, I'm cool with.
Earl Fountain asking, Spags, how was your flight? If you want to know how my flight back from New York was, please sign up for my email list and read the most recent one. But it was terrible. I sat between 2 fat people who were a couple, and I asked if they wanted to sit together, and they were like, no, it's fine. You sit in the middle. And then, like, basically they spent the entire flight very polite and nice besides being overweight and taking up too much space. But just passed things over me the entire flight or behind me, depending on how I shifted. And also the audacity of someone to be like, no, I don't want to sit next to my wife. You sit next to my wife. Well, I sit here. Not my favorite thing in the world.
I would have said the exact same thing to you.
Who does? That's such an asshole move. And also, why would JetBlue do that? Why would they do that? Like, sit next to your person. That's the fucking thing.
Oh, I don't know. I'd rather sit where I want to sit. Sometimes that doesn't jive with also sitting with my wife. I'd prefer my comfort in a flight. I see her all the time. I don't need to sit next to her.
That's exactly what that fucking guy said. And it was infuriating. I ate 250 milligrams of weed gummies over the course of that, well, both before the flight and during the flight. And it was entirely because I was blown away by the audacity of that. I actually have to complain to JetBlue about it because that's ridiculous to me.
Yeah, I'm on team other person.
Ugh, no. I mean, maybe
and I'm not even trying to be funny either.
It might be a married guy thing, but whenever I travel with someone, I want to travel with them. I don't want to I also would the audacity to inconvenience somebody else and like pass water bottles and stuff back.
Oh
and
yeah,
forth.
I mean that's silly if you're gonna keep interacting, but like given the opportunity, I just want the most comfortable seat. And whether that's near my wife or 2 seats away or whatever, I just want to be more comfortable.
I'm enjoying the image of them passing giant meatball sandwiches. It wasn't like that, but it was like chips and waters and just talking over me.
I'm picturing them both eating Sketties like Lady and the Tramp and then meeting in between where you guys triple kiss.
It didn't happen. Also, my headphones died 1 minute into the flight, too, so that was a double whammy. I just watched the league pass on mute the entire flight. It was
I pack
tough.
3 pair of headphones when I travel.
I just had my Bluetooth ones. I just rode out with them.
Always got to bring a backup pair that you can plug in, man. Rookie mistake.
I bought new AirPlay ones, or I bought like the AirPods rather, because I was so annoyed at my headphones for doing that to me. And the right one was kind of dying out anyway. But I bought them on the flight because I was like, I will not have headphones ever again. So now I got AirPods too.
Just think, if you would have just took that money you spent on AirPods and transitioned that to a better seat, you wouldn't have had to sit in between those two people.
The headphones thing was going to come due anyway, but that's a great point. It should have gone with an even more space seat and an even less fat seat. But God, fat shaming Chris Fags. I am a noted public fat shamer. That's true.
Sometimes it helps. Sometimes it helps.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tolerating us hating you sometimes. Really the vast minority, though. But thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back again Monday. Maybe some stuff over the weekend. Who knows? Definitely football stuff coming up shortly. So keep an eye onto the channel and the website for that. And we'll see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.
Later, peeps.